In a galaxy bustling with trade and diplomacy, Captain Zorax of the Crevian starship Undefeated had seen many strange sights. He had encountered intelligent plants that wove intricate tapestries of pheromones, telepathic beings who shared thoughts as easily as breathing, and even crystalline life forms that sang in harmonic frequencies. But nothing had prepared him for the moment he found himself staring at a small, hairless creature wrapped in a tattered blanket. "Why did you bring a human aboard?" his first officer, Creel, asked incredulously. Her antennae twitched with both curiosity and concern. Zorax shrugged, a gesture that translated poorly for most species. The merchant said it was a unique specimen. "I thought we might make a good trade or at least learn something from it." Creel rolled her eyes. "You're aware humans are notorious for being difficult, right? They can be aggressive, unpredictable. They can't even eat our food." Zorax nodded, recalling the merchant's words. "But they're known for their intelligence. It might provide insights into their culture, and perhaps we can use it to broker peace with the Terrans." Creel grumbled but followed Zorax as he approached the small cell where the human was confined. The creature looked up at them with wide, curious eyes. It was thin, with dark hair that fell into its face, and wore what seemed to be a makeshift outfit stitched together from various pieces of fabric. "Hey there," Zorax said, trying to be friendly. "I'm Captain Zorax. What's your name?" The human stared at him for a long moment, then blinked rapidly. "Name's Jack," it said, its voice rough but firm. "What's going on? Am I being kidnapped or something?" Zorax raised an eyebrow. "Kidnapped? No. You're aboard the Undefeated. We want to learn about you, your species. You're an ambassador of sorts." "Ambassador?" Jack echoed, glancing around the cell with an expression that mixed confusion and defiance. "More like a lab rat. What do you want to know?" Zorax's patience was tested. "What are your strengths? How do you survive in such a harsh environment? Surely you have unique abilities." Jack shrugged, looking unimpressed. "We adapt. It's what we do. We're tough. But we're not just muscle and grit. We feel things. We form connections. It's complicated." "Complicated how?" Creel asked, leaning in closer. "You have a planet filled with deadly creatures and environments, yet you flourish. How do you do it?" Jack paused, his brow furrowing as he thought. "Well, for one, we don't always succeed. We fight, we fall, we get hurt. But we pick ourselves back up, and we keep going. And we stick together. That's how we survive together." Zorax found himself intrigued. "You rely on one another?" "Yeah," Jack said, crossing his arms. "We're social creatures. A lone human is a dead human. You can't just stick one of us in a cage and expect us to behave." Creel looked at Zorax, her expression unreadable. "Are you suggesting we release it?" "No," Jack shouted, the fear in his eyes suddenly igniting into anger. "You can't just toss me back into the void. I may be small, but I'm not helpless." Zorax turned his attention back to the human, suddenly realizing the weight of the situation. "What are you capable of?" Jack took a deep breath, then stood tall, or as tall as he could manage in his confinement. "I'm resourceful. I can build things, fix things. I'm clever. Just because I'm not a big, scary alien doesn't mean I can't help. I can be useful." "Useful?" Creel raised an eyebrow. "How so?" Jack leaned closer, a gleam of determination in his eyes. "I can teach you about our technologies, our cultures. I can even help you understand other humans if you're planning to make contact. Just don't treat me like a pet." Zorax exchanged glances with Creel. "What if we release you? You could help us, and in return, we could ensure your safety. No cages, no confinement." Jack hesitated but nodded slowly. "All right. I'll help. But you have to promise not to treat me like an animal." "I'm not your pet." Zorax extended his hand, a gesture of peace among species. "Agreed. You will be our guest and our advisor." Jack clasped Zorax's hand, sealing their agreement. Okay, but first things first, I'm going to need a decent meal and a good shower. Over the next few weeks, Jack proved to be invaluable. He taught the crew about human technology, introduced them to Earth's culinary delights, and even shared stories of human history that inspired the crew members. They learned about the complexities of human emotions, how love and friendship could drive people to do extraordinary things, and how humanity had overcome countless obstacles throughout its history. Slowly, the crew of the Undefeated began to realize that Jack was not a pet or a specimen, he was a person, full of depth and spirit. They found themselves forming a bond with him, one based on mutual respect and understanding. Then came the day when they received a distress signal from a human colony on the outskirts of Crevian space. Zorax looked at Jack, knowing they needed a plan. "What do you suggest?" Jack's expression was determined. "We need to move quickly. I know how humans think and react under pressure. Let me help you strategize." Zorax nodded, admiring the spark in Jack's eyes. "Then let's get to work." Together, they crafted a plan that utilized Jack's knowledge of human culture and Zorax's strategic insights. When they arrived at the colony, they found it under attack by hostile raiders. Jack's insights allowed them to approach the situation tactically, and with Zorax's leadership, they managed to repel the attackers. After the battle, the grateful colonists gathered to thank their unexpected saviors. Zorax turned to Jack, who was standing among them, a wide grin on his face. "You see," Jack said, beaming with pride. "We humans don't make good pets. We make great allies." Zorax nodded, feeling a sense of respect and camaraderie he had never expected to find. "You are right, Jack. You have proven to be a crucial member of this crew." As they returned to their ship, Zorax realized he had not only gained a valuable ally in Jack but had also learned an important lesson about humanity. No longer would he view humans as mere specimens to be studied. They were complex beings with incredible potential, beings that could stand shoulder to shoulder with the greatest races in the galaxy. From that day on, Jack was no longer a captive or a pet. He was a friend, an ambassador, and an integral part of the Undefeated. Together, they would face whatever challenges the galaxy had to offer, proving once and for all that humans didn't make good pets, they made extraordinary partners.